Right, fellas. Let's drop the polite small talk for a second and get real. You know how you've been told for years that women want romance, security, oral man with money. Sure, that sounds nice. Ain't a Hallmark movie, but when that can mess up actual attraction. That deep, magnetic, can't stop thinking a bodie. There's something else enterella going on. Something that turns on 99% off women, even if they never admit it out loud. And no, it's not six-pack apps. It's not a fat bank account, and it's not a magic pickup line. You'll memorize that from some dating forum. It's something for more primal. And when you master it, women will not only feel drawn to you, they'll wonder why they can't stop thinking about you. So listen carefully, because what I'm about to share is something most men complain sinners. And when you get it wrong, you give off creepy vibes without even realizing it. But when you get it right, she will chase you. The honest truth, even if it stings. You all know I pride myself on giving you the honest truth about what women want versus what they say they want, even if it's uncomfortable for me to say, and maybe even uncomfortable for you to hear. Beauty will take one for the team, Becca's. You deserve to hear it straight. And yes, if you're looking for real guidance in your dating life, you can work with me through the link in the description. Now, this whole thing, a butt never talking advice from a fish that you see floating around online. Cute. But let's be honest, most of those guys giving you that advice aren't dating high-quality women themselves. This video is for the grown men who want to master theft psychology of attraction. If y'all want to stay stuck in guesswork, you can click away now. But if you want Thepper's off wisdom, most men will never hear lean in. The most misunderstood part of attraction, pacing, and emotional connection. One of the big things I see men failing at again and again is understanding pacing. And no, I didn't mean walking speed. I mean stepping off how you escalate things. With a woman, specifically how you create an emotional connection before escalating to the room. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, oh, here we go, Amelia is about to talk accoutrements novels and candlelit dinners. Hold on, because emotional connection distance only mean flowers. And I love you. Yes, that's one form of it. But there's another kind of emotional connection that is just as powerful and far more dangerous if you know how to use it. The overlooked truth about connection, emotional connection, can be built entirely around sexual desire. And this is where most men get blindsided, Beckies. They think sexual attraction is separate from emotional connection. Wrong. We see it all the time. A woman sleeps with almond right away. And Later says, I didn't know why I did that. I just felt a connection that wasn't about his wallet. I coach clients who have millions of dollars and still can't core a woman properly. Money can open doors, sure, but it doesn't make a heart feel that pull. A woman can feel multiple types of connection with. A man, one could be the safe and stable favado. Another could be the fun and exciting vibe. And then there's the dangerous, the one where you made her feel naughty, tingly, and maybe even a little vulnerable in the best possible way. You lowered her guard. You made her think thoughts she normally wouldn't dare say out loud. And now she's wondering what it would be like to cross that line with you. So how do you create that kind of connection? First, understand that for a woman, just talking about sex can be sexy. Why? Because when she says anything intimate out loud and you respond in a confident, teasing, non-judgmental way, she starts following that energy back and forth with you. She starts imagining doing those things with you, her sexual aerosol template. Yes, that's a real thing. Starts lighting up like a switchboard. You could tell her something you'd like it, do to her in a subtle teasing way. Ask her about something she's never treat but might be curious about, or any of my favorites. What's one Plasiov? Always wanted to do it, but you've been too scared to get caught. That question, it plants an image in her mind instantly. Science break. There are studies showing that when you say the word sex, A man's result template lights up for the next 8 hours. He can't stop thinking about it until he takes care of himself. But there's the thing. Men have an on-off switch. Women, we're different. Our raw attraction is a slow build and pacing eyes for thing. The big mistake most men make. They get to direct hooks explicit too soon. And for us, that's an instant turnoff. It's the digital equivalent unsolicited pick. It's jeering. It's awkward. And it kills the mood. A real example of how men blow I tend. How? To do it right, let me paint you a picture. I was dating a very handsome, a man, tall, confident, well-dressed, all surface sellable boxes were checked. We were still in the early stages. That delicious, slightly mysterious, getting to know each other. And then out off no hair, Has sends me a link to obsite selling. Submissive and domlingery, chokers, jeans, leather straps, the whole catalog. He even tells him I've got a shopping cart ready for you. I was intrigued by him. Yes, did this move completely kill the vibe also? Yes. Here's what was going through my head. Excuse me, sir? Can we maybe have a dinner first? Can you start with a, hey, how are you? I was thinking about Yob, for you hit me with the 50 Shades starter pack because here's the unfiltered truth. The message that sends to a woman is, you're just a piece of ass and I want to do dirty things to you. No, if a woman is already in fat headspace with you, she might love it. But most women, they want a little ramp up. They want the tension to build. They want the movie to have a plot before Thesson gets well heated. The better YE could have played it now. If he had handled this with pacing and intrigue, I would have been totally into it. Heckled have us started with something like, I was thinking about your favorite color today, and I saw something you might like. Can't wait to show you next time I see you. That's mystery. That is intrigue. And you better believe I would have spent the rest of the day dating. Tano, what it was? Even better. Heckled have snapped a small cropped party. The picture. Something that gives a hint, but doesn't reveal the whole thing. Gon texted me. Guess what this is? Okay, now, here's where psychology kicks in. When you give her just enough to spark curiosity, her mind will fill in the blanks with her own fantasies, and her fantasies will almost always be better than anything you could have sent outright. Emily Nagoski, a sexual resource, says women need to see a situation as erotic in order to feel rest. For men, it's an instant on-off switch. For us, it's a slow burn build-up. Gets hotter the more our imagination works. Why? High subtlety wins. Every time. Pacing, mystery, intrigue, those are the keys that make a woman want to get physical with you. When you want to connect with a woman on that level, the new window and suggestion will get you much further than jumping straight into the explicit. If you can hint at something sexual and make her picture in her mind without spelling it too, you'll hook her attention and her desire. Playful teasing examples you can steal. She compliments you, maybe your shirt, your cologne, or gives you a flirty side eye. You can turn that minto a subtle spark by saying, are ya hitting on me right now? Calm down, we're in public. Just wait till we get to me. I knew you had a naughty sadashast waiting to come out. Notice some mething. None of those are graphic, but they plant an idea and let her imagination run wild. Questions they thinks up without crossing the line. Asking slightly risky but note over the top sexual questions can create a massive attraction. Have you ever been skinny dipping? What do you think? Abud public displays of affection? No one was around? Where's one place you'd actually consider doing it? Becky, you're asking in general, urinate saying you and her, and that creates safety. What happens next is almost always the same. She's interested. She'll start leaning into that conversation. She'll open up. She'll might even escalate for you. How subtle sexuality builds deep emotional attraction. Let's circle back to what I said earlier about emotional connection. Most guys think of it as sharing feelings. It's talking about childhood memories or buying romantic. That's one form. But here's deeper truth. When you introduce sexuality into the conversation, with subtlety, pacing, and curiosity, You're actually building a very specific kind of emotional connection, one that is linked directly to sexual tension. This isn't about jumping straight to the bedroom. It's about creating a space where she feels Sifina to express your desires, excited now to imagine things with you, curious enough to want more. When used a woman imagining herself in sensual intimate situations with you without ever saying, let's shave sex, she starts associating those feelings with you naturally. And that association is powerful. Here's the script most men miss if she participates in those conversations. Willie, if she teases back and swerves your playful questions, or starts escalating the topic herself, she's showing you she's already thinking you in that way. It's not about forcing attraction. It's about revealing it. Why women's romance novels are the ultimate seduction blueprint? If you've ever picked up a women's romance novel, buy it. Seriously, it'll be the best $5 you've ever spent. Why? Because they're about words and imagination. You'll notice something. The story always starts low. There's a meeting, there's tension, there's longing glances, maybe a brush of the hand that lasts a little too long. And then the sexual tension gradually increases. But it's often implied at first, hinted at in subtle ways before it ever becomes explicit. And when it finally does be back and direct, it's explosive. Now compare that to most men's idea of seduction porn to strangers. Meet Barrow X, change a sentence, and 30 seconds later they're in bed. That works for Yabi because you have an instant on-off switch for arousal. But for us, that's unrealistic. We need the slow burn, the anticipation, the mental foreplay. How to create that ink point when you see things, right? Teasing, hinting, and letting her imagination do the heavy lifting. Your edge a point where her desire tips over. At that moment, she's not only willing, she's eager. And here's the best part. If you've built it right, she'll feel like it was her idea. That is the one who crossed the line. That's the magic. If you let her want to do, your takeaway. Use your words. Use her imagination. Don't rush the moment. Build it. Because when you do, you'll discover that the no one thing pattern some 99% of women isn't looks, isn't money, isn't some cheesy pickup line. It's your ability to plant the seed of desire in her mind and let it grow until she can't resist acting on it. If this gave you a new perspective on how top ease attraction, hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel so you never miss the deeper truths about relationships, attraction, and behavior. And in the comments, tell me what's one subtle line you've used before that got an amazing reaction.